When I was in bed last night, I thought about this daily writing project, and I thought about how this connects with Metamodernism. In the latter, there's a constant swaying between sincerity and irony, closeness and farness. Metamodern writing is very non-binary. It's a probability wave rather than one of the two slits. It's everything, everywhere, all at once. And when I think about how this relates to my writing, it seems that I'm writing about writing. When I connect with people, I often connect about connection. I often relate about how to relate. It reminds me lately about content. Instead of creating content, I'm creating content about content about content. I write and think about systems and patterns rather than relating a core personal story and experience. It's distant. It's guarded. It's not vulnerable. It's postmodern deconstruction with no modern sincerity. Why is that? I think that when I got into Metamodernism, my gateway was through The Listening Society by Hansi Freinacht. There he talks about the model of hierarchical complexity and how the more intelligent you are, the more you focus on systems and patterns. Systems thinking. Higher up, you become meta-systematic, systems of systems thinking. And from that point on, I wanted to develop my complexity. How do different systems relate, and what can be said about them? For example, how are work relationships related to attachment styles? How does informatics tie into genetics? Are we just information processors trying to keep a system of info running? Hence less babies, as humans are unreliable sources of information, and more AI? The more I talk about systems and find connections between systems, the more I pat myself on the back. I remember in 8th grade being taught not to write I in my papers. Don't be personal, be general. And the better I did at school, the more papers I wrote, the prouder my parents were. But that time has passed now. My parents, who are the only 2 paid members of my newsletter, thanks Mom and Dad, I hope you're listening, I doubt they're going to be able to connect with this writing as much. And when I think about my social media appearance, I don't really show myself with a lot of vulnerability there either. My videos are behind a desk, fortified by books. I'm really inspired by my girlfriend's content as she's showing how her body has transformed since she quit alcohol and started running. I'm fucking shredded, and I never even took a selfie of myself. Is that my own body dysmorphia, or is it something else? I can't really find any selfies on my camera. I think for a long time I found selfies narcissistic, and as I'm trying to find a path to redemption from my own narcissism, I've automatically gagged at doing anything related to narcissism. So then when does the line get crossed between vulnerability and narcissism? Or is that just another metamodern paradox to juggle? For some reason, I'm reminded of a heartbreaking work of Staggering Genius by David Eggers, which I only remember the title and author of, but I don't remember any of the story. And it seems kind of befitting here. Vulnerable narcissism, as opposed to grandiose narcissism. Or, as discussed by Kaufman, it's covert narcissism, when we shout about our pains and weakness in an attempt to shame others into compliance and attention. Witness me! Man, this journal got a little weird.